The Dallas Mavericks relaxed and need to reset in Game 5 against the Timberwolves. The Dallas Mavericks dropped Game 4 against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday night at home, their chance to close out a series at the American Airlines Center for the third straight round, in a sweep that would have sent them to the NBA Finals. It was another close one in the final minutes, but where the first three games saw the Timberwolves making mistakes or missing shots late, it was the Mavericks' turn to disappear. For most of this series, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and the rest of the team have shown a steely calm through the intensity, a sureness that allowed them to thrive and execute. But that calm veered into relaxation Tuesday. What stands out is our competitive spirit, especially throughout the game, Irving said post-game, in which he had just 4 assists to go with 4 turnovers, while shooting 6 of 18 from the floor. How I started off in particular, in the game, with a few turnovers, and if I'm setting the example like that, other guys are going to follow suit, unfortunately at times. It just leads to that lackadaisical play. That's on me, I'm taking the accountability. I have to start off the game a lot better and just get a shot up at the rim instead of turning the ball over. And Irving is right. The Mavericks were not the aggressors. That came from the other side, Anthony Edwards in particular. Before the game, the Timberwolves star said he told head coach Chris Finch that he wanted the Luka defensive assignment. Doncic didn't seem initially bothered by the adjustment, but he still went just 3 of 8 from the floor in the first quarter. Irving was 1 of 5 in the frame. The rest of the Timberwolves followed Ant's lead, looking to muck the game up early, get underneath Dallas' skin and force them to respond. The Mavericks were also adjusting to life without their rookie center Derek Lively too, who has been an anchor for them on both ends of the floor but exited Game 3 after a nasty hit to the back of the head that has left him with a neck sprain. The team also saw the return of Maxi Kleber, who hadn't played since the first round and was easing back into action after injury. That meant greater responsibility for starting center Daniel Gafford. I know for a fact that I didn't come out ready to play at all. My energy was low, and I just had to dig deep and pull some type of energy out to be ready to come out and play basketball at the end of the day, Gafford admitted Tuesday night. Those guys aren't gonna go down easy. They came out tonight and they hit us in the mouth and we had to adjust to it. For his part, Gafford did post 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks. But 10 of those points came in the second half, most early in the third quarter in quick succession. While Gafford's candidness and accountability is refreshing, that admission is a little alarming. The team had a chance to close the door for good at home and set their sights on a new opponent and an NBA title, but now they'll need to rediscover that energy in Minneapolis on Thursday. The Mavericks were cold shooting the ball, hitting just 42% from the floor as a team, their lowest mark in the series by a full 7%. Even as Minnesota tried a variety of coverages to disrupt Dallas' flow, the Mavericks were able to generate looks that simply weren't going in. And that lack of rhythm permeated elsewhere. Coach Jason Kidd tried a few different wrinkles defensively, and in that the Mavericks were not as aggressive in closing out on shooters or lost their man entirely. Karl Anthony Towns did a full 180 in Game 4, with an efficient 25 points while going 4 of 5 from deep, including 2 threes late in a tight game. And as Irving mentioned after, the failing focus and intensity led to careless lost possessions. Doncic and Irving combined for 7 of the team's 13 turnovers. Much was made of the dichotomy between each team's star duos in the first 3 games. Even with the Mavericks up 3-0, the series has been ultra-competitive. The playoffs are a game of inches, where each possession impacts the final score, sometimes in monumental ways. And Doncic and Irving bested Edwards and Towns in the tightest of moments, until Tuesday. The good news is that even starting on the back foot, the Mavericks still were close near the end. While the deficit hovered around 5 points for large stretches of crunch time, it was a 3-point game with 1:02 left. Easing off the gas eventually caught up with them. The Mavericks had a look in Game 4 of a team that felt as long as the game is close, we'll just pull it out. That posture won't do in the playoffs. And it certainly won't do in the Western Conference Finals. Oddly enough, the Mavericks have dropped Game 4 in all 3 rounds, the 2 prior a chance to go up 3-1, and Tuesday's a chance to advance. That result will lead one of 2 ways: either this win breathes belief into the Timberwolves as they head back home, or slipping up reignites the Mavericks. In the previous series, Dallas won Game 5 in emphatic fashion. They'll look for the three-peat Thursday, and punch their ticket back to the NBA Finals for the first time in 13 years.